This is a giant draft horse here in California. He's ridden occasionally with his buddy. Most of the time, though, he's kept in the sand arena. What I'm doing is I'm cleaning the foot out, but I'm really looking for distortions and things that are going to help me make decisions. Such an important piece if you work on draft horses. You should remove those ergats located in the back of the pastern, because sometimes those things irritate that horse, and you pick that foot up, he's going to kick you. I'm really cleaning the foot out here, and you can see that I'm really digging in between the frog areas. I'm really figuring out where my bars are and distortions that are in the foot. I know for people that are brand new at this or just coming out of school, sometimes you'll have a tendency to want to do every single foot the exact same way. I always tell the owners, if you want the feet done the exact same way on every single foot, pick the one you want to be lame. Here, you can see I'm taking a loop knife to the frog. And really, this is the area that I'm really cleaning out, and I'm going to make this frog area functional again for this horse. Important piece of this, and I'm going to freeze it later, is I'm doing this frog before I have taken out the bars and worked on the rest of the foot. I'll use two knives on this. I'll do my loop knife to do some of the additional stuff and kind of clean up the frog. But then I have a straight knife that I use to make sure that I retain the most frog possible. And you'll see by the final trim that this frog will be touching the ground. If anything else, it'd have to get trimmed back a little bit further in order for it to not be sitting on the ground before the hoof hits the ground. That's my frog knife that I'm using. And you see that it is a straight edge. And I'm going to take it through. I'm going to make sure that that frog is fully opened in the back and that I know where the exact widest part of this frog is, because it's going to dictate where I end up bringing those heels back to. And you're going to see I'm going to use several knives, and I'm going to go under those bars again. And I try to clean out the center of that frog. That's actually one of the main places where you'll find the diseased thrush located. You want to make sure that's cleaned out and the thrush doesn't start burying itself in there. Seeing as how this is a pre-winter trim, and our location is California, so we really get no rain in this part of Northern California up until winter. And when winter starts, we may have a few wet and warm days for that thrush to embed. So if it's nice and cleaned out, we'll probably have a pretty good winter time. Find if you take care of this before winter, you'll have no thrush during winter. Now I'm using my nippers to take out the bar. You can use a knife too, but I find my nippers are pretty good about taking that out. You'll see that I'm actually pretty conservative, and I run back to the heel first, but then on the inside here, you start to see some flares. And on the inside, or the medial side of that hoof, you'll see some flaring on the inside, but then on that outside, the direction that I'm working my way toward, you see how that hoof is actually outstanding from the sole of the foot? That's because the pressure is on the inside of that horse's leg. Best way to look at the foot in distortion is that it's like a balloon. Where you put pressure, there's a bulge on the other side. If you look at the trim that I've been doing on this foot, if you look at the toe, you'll see some of the material still hanging off there because I haven't even cut even a millimeter deep. If you look right at the toe, you'll see I didn't even cut there. Now I froze this on purpose. It's very important for me to see that you see I've left a lot of frog. And this horse bears weight, that's going to be right on the ground. And you see that I'm still taking the heels back at this part, and that's my trim.